Hello, welcome to. In this tutorial we're going to have a look at Google Drive. If you're not familiar with Google Drive at all, or you're not a tech savvy person, you have found the right tutorial for you because it is aimed at beginners in this one. So we're going to teach you all the basics and the concept behind it so you get up running in no time. In the next tutorials we're going to have a look at Google Docs and the other things that come with Google Drive. But let's first grasp the concept behind this. If you haven't already done, please hit the subscribe button down in the corner. That way I can help you by providing you more tutorials, and also you're helping me, so I very much appreciate that. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button as well. Thank you very much. So let's jump into it. Now the first thing you're gonna need is Chrome. So you want Google Chrome, and you can do that by, if you are in Internet Explorer, it might be in Firefox or something like that, go up here and then you want to go to google.com, and then we want to search for Google Chrome, like that. And then the top one up here, and in here you will then be asked whether you want for personal or whether you want for your mobile. I think it is, yeah, for personal computers here. And then just click the download button down there, and then just follow installation process. Since I already got Chrome installed here, I'm not going to do it now, but do that. You might be prompted with that you have to create an account. Just go ahead and doing that, and remember your logins. So the next thing is then you want to go to Google Drive. Once you install Chrome and open up, then you want to go to Drive at Google, and you see something like this. So I already got an account, that's why it shows up there. It might show up, or it will show up down here if you don't have an account with create account, or you can add another account, and then you go in there and say add account. So create an account, because you're going to need that to log into a Drive. So if I just log in here, before we get too much into this here first, let's just explain what is the cloud, because it's a term that's been trending for quite a while now, and it's quite confusing to some people. What the cloud is not really something that has to be difficult. The term just means there's a bunch of machines that's running together, they're connected up to each other, and it's on a much larger scale than what we used to in the past. So it means that your program, say your Word program that used to run in your machine, now works with the cloud. So your document is actually not on your laptop or your computer, it's actually in the cloud, so it's on some other server somewhere else, and Google is taking care of that. So you just access a document from here, and then you go onto that server and you work with that document and you save it on server. So let's try to put this into another sort of way for you to understand it, because let's say you go to the bank. You have a bank in your local town and you put $1 in that bank, right? So that branch, then we go to another town and you then access the same branch. So you go in and you want your dollar out, you can do that. You put $1 in and they keep track of your dollar, right? So you then want to put $2 in, right? And you then go back to your hometown where you put your original dollar in, and you now have $2 there. So you can go to different places, different physical places, and access your dollar from those different places, like you've been withdrawing money in the past. It's the same concept here. You basically have your dollar goes to Google. You put your on that dollar on the Google server, and you can then access that from somewhere else. So obviously your dollar in this case is a document. So what does that really mean? Well, it means that with Google taking care of it and them having all these machines, is that if your laptop break, you don't lose that document, because that is with Google and you can just go on another machine and access it. So this is really one of the big perks about it. Because Google have so many machines, even if one of us goes down, they have plenty of other machines that will be able to serve it to you straight away, and they keep backups of it, and it's saved all the time. And then it's the big question, what about security? You hear about the security, everyone's gonna hack it, and think about it this way. If you worry about security and you don't know how to use Google Drive, if it is in the hands of some of the world's best engineers, your document, do you not think it's slightly better, more safe? That's really the thing about it. Because if you take your laptop somewhere and you sit on a wireless internet or something like that, you are exposing yourself to a risk that someone could actually get into your computer. There's many ways of hacking your computer, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. And obviously there's certain things you shouldn't upload to these servers. So that would include your password, it would include your bank details, credit card details, things like that. So a bit of common sense, don't save things like that, because someone would be able to access it. I mean, it's very unlikely they're going to access your computer ever, but as a precaution, don't save it. Keep it in memory or somewhere else. Just don't save it so people can actually get to it. That's probably the best way for you to protect yourself. So I wouldn't worry too much about security, as I said. So what we got here is the user interface, or you can see this control panel, or whatever you want, what you want to call it. But it's a user interface, and it's that user interface we use to access the files at Google. So this file is actually not on your computer, it is on their machine. Thus, everything we save here goes onto their machine, and it also means that if you went to a friend and you went to drivegoogle.com, you'll be able to log in and get this file. So you don't have to bring your computer with you or anything, or send them the document. You can send a link, but you can also just log into your account there and show them the document. And same if you're doing a presentation or anything like that. So what do we have going on in here? Well, you notice up here we've got new, and that's the way we can create folders. You can upload contents like images or whatever, and we can make a Google Docs, and we can make a Google Sheets, which is your Excel arcs, and we can make a Google Slides, which is like your presentations. I'm sorry, the Google Docs is like your Word documents, Google Forms, Google Drawings, Google Maps. So you say if your maps here, if you want to make a map for a route or something, if you made a drawing, or if you want to make like a survey or something for your Google Forms here. So you're probably most likely going to be using this lot up here, hence why they are out there. So you can make a folder here, and we could say that this is going to be our whatever, it's going to be our CV here. So we have now created a folder called CV here, and inside this one we can then create a new document. So I can create a Google Doc document here, and it will take you to docs.google.com. Now, docs.google.com is another way for you to access these programs here. So this program is running in your browser, and when we save it, it goes onto that server. Thus, anything I type here will get saved and go onto the server. So what I was saying with Google Docs here is just another way. So you can see here. So I would just, to save confusion, just use Drive, because then you can access them all. But if you want to access the Word editor yourself, just straight away you can go Docs and you get into the editor here. So if I was to save this, say we call it something, call it my CV, like that, you see it's saving here. And out here we now have my CV. So we now got a document. So if I close that, I can now open that one up, and we now have my CV document here. So if I type something in there, just anything there, there. Excuse me, there. Save anything there. In next tutorial we go over what's going on in here, and you notice that all changes are saved. And if I click it on again, we access that file again, and you have it there. So that's how that works. Now, what if you wanted to share this document with someone? So you created this and you wanted to share it. Well, there's ways of sharing it. You can click that, and you can get a shareable link. So you can send this to someone. That's one way of doing it. You can also see the documents that have been shared with you. So if anyone shared something, send you a link. Also, you can share with other people. So you can type their email address. So you might know someone called Lily, and you type her email in there, and then you say done. And you can then, before you do that, you can tell them what they're allowed to do. So they might only be allowed to view the document, they might be allowed to make changes to the document, or they might be allowed to comment on it. So the comments is just, say, if you are changing someone's or Say you a teacher and you want to give advice on something that the student had written, you could go in here and say comments, and then you'll be able to make comments on each these different sections of what you think there should be improvements on. So you also got it up here, and we can say change it in similar fashion. So that's the different ways. You can copy the link, or you can do by emails, and you can share that. So that's the way you share. Right, so we're done with that. So over here, as I said, these would be the shared things with you. So if someone type in the email there and share it with you, it show up in here. And reason is just what we've been working with lately. So that's my CV, as we just created a document for before. If you have any photos you uploaded, they'll be in here. If you have favorited anything, or if you deleted anything, pretty self-explanatory here. So up here we have the different layouts. So if we just go back here, you see that. So if you have more documents, they'll be displayed as a list down there. So that is sort of the main concept behind it. So you click new up there if you want to create a new PowerPoint slide or something like that, as you would call it in the past. So this is a Google slide, but that's your presentation. Or if you wanted to edit something you already created, you can go in here and find it. Up here you also got your breadcrumbs, so you can navigate forth and back between things as you start getting a lot of folders. Down here, this is how much space you have. So at the moment we've got 15 gigabytes available, and we only use 0 bytes. So it should be more than that. It should be updated because we just created a Word document, so it should be some bytes. But 15 gigabytes is available. Once you exceed that, you will have to move on to a paid version. It will take you quite a while to exceed those 15 gigabytes. What's further worth noticing is down here there will be a link that says you can get it for your computer. So I already clicked that, that's why it's up here, and we'll take you to this one. And what this is that you can, it's a program you can download onto your computer, and it means that you're gonna get a folder called Drive on your computer, and anything you drop into that folder is automatically gonna get uploaded onto these servers, so you'll be able to access it in here. So I drop a picture into that folder on my computer, and it will become available in here once that picture has been uploaded. But the real strength behind this is actually not so much that, but it's the fact once you start using it with different devices. So imagine you go on holiday and you have hooked your phone up, your tablet, and your laptop, everything up to this. Well, you take some pictures on your holiday and you set it to automatically synchronize these whenever there's any internet available. It means that it's going to be uploaded into your drive here. All the pictures are going to be here. Not only does it mean that you're not going to lose your pictures if you lose your phone, but it also means that you'll be able to access these pictures from your phone through Google Drive. So you can go on your laptop and just go to the pictures in Google Drive, and say if you want to print them, you can just go to your laptop without having to do anything other than just log into Google Drive. These pictures are automatically going to appear there. So this is sort of the strength behind having all these things synchronized. Do keep in mind that this takes a bit of time to upload the pictures, so you take a lot of pictures. It does need to upload, so it won't appear straight away. But you can do that by, as I said, download here on your phone. There will be an app for it as well called Google Drive. If you install that on your phone, you can then synchronize it with your Google Drive. So I hope this made sense. In the next tutorials, we're going to have a look at how to use what you probably would see as Microsoft Word, but it's going to be Google's version, which is Google Docs, and we're going to have a look at how to work with that. So this be this part over here. So hope you see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.